Hey there, it's Molly, and I want to take a look at the energies of transiting Jupiter in Aries as it's going to open up new potentials for you in your life. New ideas, adventures, projects, a new chapter in your life, something that you're ready to get off the ground and move forward, a new beginning. So this energy is very strong when Jupiter enters Aries on May 10th, 2022. And that's what this chart is. May 10th, 2022, when Jupiter is at the very beginning of the full zodiac wheel. The point of initiation, a rebirth, a new start around the zodiac wheel. And Jupiter is the energy of expansion, development, growth, what you're learning, the wisdom you've accumulated, and how you are able to move through life with ease. Jupiter is about abundance and how we're able to step into something with more confidence and strength, especially in Aries. So this is an energy signature of something new getting underway. Maybe it's something you've been feeling or sensing, especially with the strong Pisces energies we've been working with. You could have had some ideas about it, some thoughts, some visions. Now, Jupiter in Aries is about the action, the motivation, the inspiration, and it can be a gut level feeling. It can also be whatever is true or right for you now, because that Aries sense of I am is about your subjective needs. What is right for you now? What's in alignment? What's resonating? And this is going to support you in developing that new path, the confidence to be yourself, the courage to listen to your own needs. So this energy, again, it starts May 10th, where Jupiter will travel to 8 degrees, 43 minutes of Aries until July 29th, 2022, where it then stations retrograde and will go back over these points and re-enter Pisces. It will re-enter 29 and 28 degrees of Pisces. It will station direct and then re-enter Aries December 21st, 2022. So basically, May 10th to the end of July, very strong movement, gusto, inspiration, go for it. Something new is really getting off the ground and moving forward. Then during the retrograde, there's always that review. Aries moves fast. Sometimes it's too impulsive or too impatient. So the retrograde is going to give you a chance to assimilate. Make sure you didn't forget anything. You didn't overlook something important or the details. And if you did, Jupiter in Aries retrograde is going to help you figure out how to rework it or what needs to be brought along or incorporated. Then when Jupiter goes back into Pisces, it's the next level of refinement and release. The next layers, the next things are tossed overboard. You have this new start underway. Jupiter in Pisces then says, okay, I really don't need this going forward. I'm okay letting that go. I want to have more space and room for this new start. So I'm going to clear out some more things so that I have more energy and focus on the new start. Then when Jupiter re-enters Aries again, December 21st, it's really all systems go, where Aries energy can really get off the ground even more. And there's a return to that sense of this is what's right for me. And it might even feel stronger once Jupiter returns to Aries. So I'll put these dates below because I know this can get confusing. But I wanted to highlight that there's a process here of the new beginnings are coming through. They are getting started. There is energy and support for them. And then there's also going to be a period where you could feel that things are slowing down, but that's so that your energy can be calibrated with the new start. It's almost like you don't want to try to move too fast, be too impatient or too impulsive. The universe is supporting you with this next chapter and new beginning, but it's also saying, okay, now that you have an idea, inspiration, and understanding of where you're going, Now we're going to slow it down. It's a bit like you can press the gas pedal all the way down and then you've got to let up on the gas, slow down, let some things catch up with you. Let some things come in and land and integrate. So this is going to be very inspiring and beneficial for what you've been waiting on or wanting to develop, but it wasn't the right time or things weren't quite lining up. This is when it could really come through. Of course, as always, it depends on how you work with Aries energy. For some people, this could be too much too fast. This could be, wow, whoa, I wasn't ready. That was a lot. I need time. So as with every astrological sign, it depends on how you're working with that energy, how it feels for you, and how it matches your own energy signature. Now, there's a few more things I want to call out here that are really important. So we talked about Jupiter in Aries, how it's going to go to nearly 9 degrees of Aries before it stations retrograde. So what this also means is that at the very beginning of Aries season, which is on March 20th, 2022, and I realize when you're watching this video, you could be watching it and that could be a few months ago. Like that could have been in the past. Or it could be something that you're aware of and you're experiencing now. But what happens is that the transiting sun is going to be at the 0 degrees of Aries, which is not this chart, by the way, I don't want to confuse you. But when the transiting sun is at 0 degrees of Aries, it's going to open up, highlight, and showcase the new beginnings that Jupiter is going to come through and energize even more May 10th, starting May 10th. So that transiting sun in Aries is traveling through your astrology chart and is going to open up energies that you're meant to pay attention to. So March 20th until March 29th, so essentially the sun's journey from 0 degrees of Aries to nearly 9 degrees of Aries is the sun in Aries opening up what Jupiter in Aries is going to expand. So you want to be very intentional, March 20th to 29th, because the sun only comes through that part of your chart once a year, and it's showing you something that you're meant to develop, grow, and prosper through into early 2023. So it's a pretty fascinating cycle to be aware of. And if by chance you're aware of these energy cycles in your chart, you're going to pinpoint the house where this Aries energy is supporting your new start. So every year, the sun goes to 0 degrees of Aries, right? We call that the equinox. Spring equinox here in the northern hemisphere, fall equinox in the southern hemisphere. And it's the beginning of the full zodiac wheel. But this year it has extra punch and power because Jupiter in Aries is going to come through and bring in a lot more of this Aries energy. And that means this house, so in this example chart, the 4th house, is going to be receiving even more abundant support and development for what's new in the 4th house area of life. So in this chart, the 4th house, that is about family, home, your personal environment, your emotional world, your personal space. So there could be new beginnings here in your home life, in your family, anything that matters to you, that really is personal to you. So you want to be aware of this energy cycle because it's rare. And I feel like what we're learning is that the universe supports who you are now. And this Jupiter in Aries is helping with the next chapter. Again, the new phase of life that you're ready to embark upon and develop that is speaking to you personally. It's that energy of, this is me now. This is what I'm feeling. This is how I'm different, or this is what is calling to me, especially after all the big life changes that we went through in 2020, all the things you've been learning and healing and understanding. This is where the Jupiter in Aries wants you to feel good about who you are, wants you to own it. Own it. What are you owning in yourself that is really for your best and highest good right now? Because Jupiter is going to help you continue that and move it forward. So I know that this can be confusing depending on where you're at with your astrological knowledge. And again, I have all the dates below the video. But essentially, the key energy point here that I'm calling out is between 0 to nearly 9 degrees of Aries in your chart. And that's where the energy is very strong here for a new start, new beginning, what you're ready to embark upon next. Now, a few more things to look at here. So Jupiter gets to 8 degrees, 43 minutes of Aries, the end of July, goes back into Pisces like we talked about, comes back into Aries December 21st, and stays there into 2023. And we'll cover this territory until February 14th, 2023. So it's essentially going over 0 to 9 degrees of Aries 3 times in your chart. So there's something that the universe is showing you in this first decan of your chart. Right here. This is the beginning. This is what you're ready for next. This is where you want to go because it feels right or it feels good or there's something that excites you, it motivates you. It's a gut level response. It can be primal. It can be desire. It can be something that you're just feeling called to pursue, understand, explore, open up to. New energies, new energies. Now, the reason why this could also be very impactful is that this Jupiter is traveling behind Chiron. Chiron entered Aries in 2018. Chiron covered this same territory in your chart, 0 to 8 degrees 43 minutes from 2018 until January 2022. So Chiron has been here, the wounded healer, showing you more of who you are now, where you've had to stand on your own, go your own way, be more independent, understand that you're capable of doing things on your own terms. This is where you've been developing that independence, the courage, the confidence, the sense of self, the new understanding of your skills and abilities. But when Chiron was in this space, Chiron first shows us the triggers, the wounds, the vulnerabilities, the fears. I don't know if I can do that on my own. I don't know if I can handle that. I don't know if I'm strong enough. Chiron opens up all the questions that you're then meant to answer on your own terms. And then there is the healing journey. There is the opening into more of who you are that you didn't know who you were. So Chiron won't return to this part of your chart for a good 50 years. But Chiron was here for over 3 years. So the past 3 years, this part of your chart is where you've been doing a lot of healing work, whether that is PTSD, trauma, anything that you were too wrapped up with in other people, anything where your energy was outside of yourself. That Chiron in Aries has asked us to call it back to who you are, your sense of self, what you need, what's true for you. And Chiron has required you to work through some very deep things. Again, can be painful, vulnerable, difficult, emotional, tough, all those things. But the Chiron promise is that you're going to move through it and come out the other side healed, stronger, and clearer in who you are. So now that Chiron is done with this territory in your chart, here comes Jupiter and says, you can do it. This is your cheerleader. This is your energy of support and expansion. And see, look at all that work you've done. You did all that work with Chiron in Aries here, where maybe it was tearing you up, bringing you to your knees, no mercy. Now here comes Jupiter in Aries saying, I've got some gifts for you. I've got some good things for you. I have support for who you are now. You've done the work. You've done a lot of healing. You've invested in yourself. You've gone inward. You've understood more of your own energy. Now Jupiter in Aries is going to bring in more of that energy frequency. It's going to be reflected back to you. It's going to grow. It's going to be abundant. It's going to be something that shows you how much the universe sees you, sees what your journey has been, sees what you've changed, and that it is a new day dawning. That is something that Aries enjoys, is the new start. But also, when it resonates with who you are at a deep level of your being, that's where you could feel that it's truly speaking to you. That this is really, it's almost like this is where you've had hard knocks. The hard-earned rewards are coming in, okay? Where you're like, okay, I've been doing all this stuff around the Chiron in Aries themes in my chart, in my life. Now, Jupiter brings in the grace, the ease, the developments, the next steps, a reflection of, again, the universe sees what you've been through. And so here's what's next. Here's the new path. Here's the new way to grow. So this is going to just be a very important part of your chart to be aware of. Again, 0 to nearly 9 degrees of Aries. That's the first decan. And you're looking at the house that this energy is in, because there's things that are going to kind of sync up in a really interesting way because of how Jupiter is following behind Chiron, and because of how this is the energy of something new coming in. So it's a new energy. It's, again, something more that is resonating with your own frequency right now. It's almost like the energy in your aura is calling in and expanding this. So it is very personal. The Aries, again, is a sense of self. This is who I am. And the universe says, yes, this is who you are. And here's some things to help you feel motivated, inspired, ready to go. A sense of renewal. A sense of, okay, I understand maybe what some of that Chiron energy was about, or I understand why some things I've been waiting on, they were held back, they didn't come through. Now they're showing up. Now it's showing up. So again, this could be something that you've been wanting or waiting on since 2018. And remember, Jupiter hasn't been here since 2010, 2011. So I know it always takes a minute to think back, well, what was going on in my life then. But this is meant to lift you up. And it's meant to remind you how the universe is a powerful co-creation ally. And the universe is ready to support you in what you're moving towards next. Even if it's very new and different, unexpected, out of the blue, you're like, I never thought it would be that, or I didn't see that coming, or wow, this is a really big new start, or this really looks different than I thought, but it's going to match your frequency. And I feel like that's what's also very interesting here, is that Chiron shifts our frequencies permanently because of the healing work that's required. So your healing has been for a purpose. And now you're going to see what that could be, what opens up next. Now keep in mind, every astrological sign has a full spectrum of energies, from the highest expressions to the lowest expressions. The Aries energy can be angry, impatient, impulsive, childlike, tantrums. There can be all of that. But the more evolved Aries understands that you're here to know yourself better throughout your whole lifetime. There is no competition. The only thing is about how you're a better person and you're more aware of yourself day after day, how to redirect any of that impulsive energy into something productive and useful, how to trust your own process, how to use it wisely. So I hope this gives you a heads up on what to work with, what is intentional and conscious use of the energy in your life. I hope this also maybe gives you some good reminders that whatever that Chiron energy, maybe put you through, this is where you're going to see some things showing up and coming back in that are, again, connected to your frequency, a better fit. And also, there's something here, too, around Jupiter brings in the good karma. It brings in the good things that we're ready to amplify. So keep in mind that you could have good karma showing up. You could have beneficial things that are supporting you that, again, you didn't know were possible. So the Aries energy wants to go fast. It's comfortable speeding. And again, it will depend on how you work with that. But because there's a retrograde period, that's going to allow things to recalibrate and be integrated. And then you're going to have another opportunity to take this even further when Jupiter returns to Aries and covers the same 9-degree territory again, December 21st until February 14th. So these 9 degrees are what I'm highlighting. In this video, there's always more to talk about. There's always more to go into. But I just wanted to pinpoint for you that the first decan of Aries is going to be a prosperous development zone. And I hope you're able to make the most of it as Jupiter begins not only its entry into Aries, but essentially a whole new journey around the zodiac. So thank you so much for joining me. Again, I have dates below, and I hope that this helps you understand more of what is happening in your life, in your world, and the new starts that you're ready for next. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for sharing this video with others who would enjoy it or benefit from it. And as always, I appreciate your subscribes, your comments, and your likes. I'll see you back here soon.